Hey, what's going on, everybody? On today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to properly structure your business from the beginning. Why? Because when it comes to funding, you want to make sure you have the proper business structure or the proper business entity so you can get the most amount of funding for your business. All right, so that's what I'm going to be talking about. So let me introduce myself. My name is Vita King. I am a credit and business strategist here at My Credit Funding. My Credit Funding is a financial literacy and business strategy consulting firm that educates and teaches individuals, families, and business owners to understand their credit, manage their credit, and leverage their credit so they can get business funding to grow their business. All right, so that's what we're all about. So you want to like our page, you want to follow our page so you can get weekly information, weekly content when it comes to credit, because we are putting out so much information when it comes to credit, when it comes to business funding, when it comes to lending, because a lot of businesses are going out of business. A lot of businesses are not going to survive when it comes to, by December, they're going to be closing their doors permanently. Why? Because with all the social distancing and all the restriction from the pandemic, right? That usually December is the time of the year that a lot of businesses see their sales go up. But because of the pandemic, a lot of people are going to be shopping from home. So which means Amazon and Walmart, they're going to be getting a lot of online purchases. So for small businesses, they're not going to make it for next year. So that's why if you're a small business owner, the best thing that you can do right now is restructure the way your business is set up. What do I mean by restructuring your business? If you are a small business owner and your business is registered as a sole proprietor, well, you need to switch that. You need to switch it from a sole proprietorship to a corporation. Why? Because just from the funding aspect of it, you can get more funding for your business if you are incorporated. Why? Because usually banks and lenders, they prefer lending to corporation. And then secondly, right, for tax purposes, right, you can talk to an accountant. An accountant will let you know that when it comes to tax purposes, a corporation makes more sense, right? So that's why you want to restructure your business entity. So if you're a small business, if you've been operating as a small business owner or as a sole proprietorship, then you need to switch that to a corporation. Now, once you switch it to a corporation, hopefully you're a small business owner and you register as a self-proprietor, that you have a business banking account, right? Because a business banking account is a critical aspect. It's a must, right? Because what happened is this. Especially with the CEBA, the Canada Emergency Business Account, a lot of small businesses were left out because they did not have a business bank account. So this goes out to anybody who wants to start a business. If you want to start a business next year, if you're thinking about starting a business, you want to start it right from the beginning. You want to make sure your business entity, your business structure is structured properly. So which means go and set up your corporation, incorporate your business, register as a corporation. And once you register as a corporation now, go and set up a business bank account. Do not operate from your personal checking account, but once you have your corporation set up, go and set up a business bank account. Why? Because you want to build that relationship with the lender or with the bank from the get-go, right? You want to let them know that, hey, listen, I have a business, I'm incorporated, I'm a corporation, I want to open a business bank account so I can, build that relationship with your bank. Now, the benefit, one of the good things about having a corporation is this: even if you, the business owner, if you have bad credit, what you can do is this: you can add directors into your corporation. Now, you can have you can add as many directors as you can, but for the purpose of funding, if you want to get funding for your business, if you want to get lines of credit, if you want to get credit lines, if you want to get business credit, then you will have to have a minimum of 4 directors. So you, the original business owner, plus 3 more for a total of 4. Why? Because most banks and most credit unions and most lenders, they will require that each director have at least 25% ownership or equity in the corporation before they can before any bank will extend them any credit. Now, These directors that you add on your corporation, you want to make sure that you do your due diligence. You want to make sure that it's people that you know, that you trust, that you want to do business with. And then they also have to have good credit. Why? Because when you add them as a director, they can now go to their financial institution and apply for credit under their names, right? Under their names, but the funding or the credit or the fund or the loans or whatever, the credit cards, the credit lines and the business loan will be given to the corporation, right? Now, it usually depends on the relationship you have with your bank. Sometimes, they can extend you credit, and that funding, it won't show up on your personal credit profile, on your personal credit bureau, which is Equifax and TransUnion. It usually just depends on the lender. The ideal situation is that when you get money or when you get funding, when you get a loan, it doesn't show up on your personal credit, or it doesn't show up on your personal credit bureau. Why? Because what happens is this. When you get credit, or when you get funding, right, and that funding is under your name, it impacts your credit rating. It impacts your credit, your overall credit profile. Why? Especially if you get, let's say, a credit card, right? So with the credit card, with a business credit card that shows up on your personal credit profile, so Equifax and TransUnion, how you use it, so if you keep maxing it and all that stuff, it's going to impact your personal credit. That's why you want to incorporate, right? So that way, when you get the funding, it does not show up on your personal credit, but it shows up on the business credit. It's just a question of you talking to the lender to ask them, hey, does this funding, does this business loan, does this business credit card, very important, you got to know this, right? Does this business loan, does it appear on my personal credit profile, or will it appear on my business credit profile? If it shows up on the business credit profile, it's good. So that means, right, it will not impact your personal credit, so you can use it, you can max, you can do whatever with it, and it will not impact your personal credit. So that's why, as a small business owner, as I mentioned, right, you got to switch from sole proprietor. Why? Because with sole proprietor, when you get funding, when you get a loan, most of the time that funding, it will show up on your personal credit. Why? Because as a sole proprietor, you and the business are one, right? So you're basically one with your business, right? You are the same. But with a corporation is an entity by itself, right? So therefore, when you apply for funding, when you apply for credit, right, depending on, as I mentioned, depending on the lender, some lenders they will not report that loan on your personal credit profile, which is good. So that's why, as I mentioned, if you're a small business owner, right, if you have bad credit, incorporate and add directors into your corporation. A minimum of, you want to have a minimum of 3 plus you, so 4, so they can now go, so these directors, they will go to their financial institution to get funding, so that way you can grow your corporation. Why? Because right now, it's all about, businesses, because a lot of businesses are going to shut they're going to shut their doors permanently, right? New businesses will have to step up, because right now, for the next, for the next 2 years, there's going to be a gap in the economy, which means there's going to be a lot of people looking for jobs, but not a lot of jobs not a lot of jobs available. Why? Because a lot of the small businesses, they shut their doors, because small businesses, they play a major role in employing people, so that's why new business owners, new entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur, that's why you want to, if you're an aspiring business owner, if you want to get into business, you want to do it right from the beginning. Structure your business correctly, which is set up a corporation. Once you have your corporation, go open a business bank account. Once you have a business banking account, start working on your personal credit. Start paying attention to your personal credit. Start fixing your personal credit. Start improving your personal credit, so that way you can get funding for your corporation based on your personal credit. Why? Because most of the time, a lot of the banks, a lot of the financial institution, especially if you're new, especially if it's a new corporation, because you can still get funding for a new corporation. Even if your corporation is new and it hasn't made $1 yet, it hasn't made a penny yet, it doesn't even have customers yet, you can still get funding. But the funding is based on your personal credit, right? You can still get funding for your new corporation. You can open a corporation today, and tomorrow go to the bank bank, open a business bank account and get funding, but it will be based on your personal credit. They will look at how long you've had credit for. So that's why if you're starting a business, if you want to start a business next year, start working on your personal credit, because your personal credit will play a major role along the line when you start getting, when you start asking for funding. Why? Because you're a new business, you don't have any cash flow yet, you don't have any collateral yet, you don't have any customers yet, you don't have any, you're just a concept, right? But you want to do it right, you want to structure it right. Go set up your corporation, go set up a business bank account from the beginning. Set up your business bank account so that way you can build that relationship with the lender. You can build that relationship with the banks, with the credit union, with the big banks. So that way when you build your personal credit, when your personal credit is now good, now you can go and ask for funding. Now you can go ask for business loans, ask for business. Now you gotta educate yourself, because there's different types of funding that's available. It's not just loans, right? There's credit cards, there's business credit cards, business lines of credit. There is vendor credit, net 30 accounts. There is letter of credits. There is merchant cash advance. There is there's different types of funding that's available. So that's why you have to follow our page, My Credit Funding, like us, because we talk a lot about the different types of financial or borrowing product that's available for businesses. That's why you want to know these products, so that way, because you don't want to get the wrong type of product, and that wrong type of product becomes detrimental to your business growth, because your business is not making any money. You ended up getting a $20,000 loan. Now you have to make payment on that loan, and you're not generating any revenue. So you want to know what type of product, what type of financial product, what type of borrowing product that you want to get. As I mentioned, there's a lot of different options. It's not just loans. There's lines of credit. There's business credit cards. There's business credit lines. There's business overdraft. There's invoice factory discount. Invoice factory discount. It's called merchant cash advance, basically, right? So there's different types of funding that's available, but you just have to know which one fits your need. So that's why it's all about education. It's all about financial literacy. So that's why here at My Credit Funding, we are a financial literacy and business strategy educational consulting firm. So that way, that's why we're educating, we're putting out content, information, so you can understand your personal credit, manage your personal credit, and leverage your personal credit to get business funding to grow your business. As I mentioned, we need business owners. We need new business owners, because a lot of business owners are going out of business. New ones will have to step up. So that if that's you, if you're thinking of getting into business next year, or in the next 6 months, in the next year, you want to structure your business right from the beginning, because there's funding, there's money, but it's how you structure your business from the beginning that will determine if you even get that funding or not. So your personal credit it will play a critical role. So you want to start fixing, start managing, start understanding your personal credit now. Choose the right business structure, so corporation, and choose the right industry, right? Because there's some industries that are considered high risk in the lending world, right? So you don't want to be in the high risk industry and not get funded. So that's why it takes, it's a lot of research, and start doing your market research. So I'm going to stop it here. As I mentioned, if you're watching this for the first time, like this page, My Credit Funding, because we talk a lot about lending. We talk about credit, how to fix your credit, how to build your credit, how to manage your credit, how to get business funding, business strategy. We talk about business model. We talk about marketing strategy, content marketing. This is a financial literacy and business strategy platform to help new business owners, aspiring business owners, new entrepreneur, to make sure that they set up their businesses right from the beginning by understanding what goes in, all the ins and out, all the details that goes into a business. So thank you very much for watching this. Until then, subscribe so you can get more information on a weekly basis. Okay, so until then, peace and blessings.